From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Thanks for joining us for the September 20th edition of Carolina Week. I'm Katie Payerly.
And I'm Bridget Williams. We're proud to be bringing you Carolina news and events.
A recent controversy involving the music industry won't affect UNC students yet. But as Carolina Week's Holly Hedrick tells us, big-name artists want to make sure you pay for their work.
The music store isn't the closest place to get your favorite songs anymore. The internet puts power in your fingertips, and top tunes are just a click away. Some artists want to take the power back from college campuses, including UNC. Last week, lawyers for artists Metallica and Dr. Dre sent a letter to UNC and Duke University asking that the schools block students' access to Napster. Napster is a file-sharing service that allows users to download MP3 music files, many of which are copyrighted. ATN Computer Policy Director Gene Smythe says blocking Napster isn't the answer.
We feel in the case of Napster that Napster is a symptom. It isn't really what the problem is. The problem is respect for copyright.
Smythe says the university's policy is to educate students about copyright issues and hope everyone will voluntarily do the right thing.
Attorneys are asking students not to do this. But despite their efforts, Napster is still just a few clicks away from any university computer.
Smythe says the university will block access if using Napster becomes illegal. Student Jim Ray claims that shutting down Napster won't be the end.
Napster, the idea is impossible to shut down. Napster has kind of generated a revolution in the way people think about sharing files, and you can't uninvent that.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Holly Hedrick, Carolina Week.
For now, Napster remains available on campus, but with millions of dollars at stake, you can bet the music industry will continue to fight it.
Carolina Computing Initiative is working hard to get all students online, but it seems like some UNC freshmen don't know jack. Phone jack, that is. A number of students have been trying to jam a phone jack into the Ethernet port of their new laptops. The mistake disables the sensitive ports and keeps students offline. The maker of the laptops, IBM, is responding to the problem by replacing the old port with new, sturdier ones. Steve Farrington is the associate director of the university's computer network. He says all freshmen who own a A20M laptop can get an upgrade.
If it happens at a later date, it will still be covered under warranty. But we have the opportunity right now to have folks fix the machines here.
Students can take their laptops to the Academic Technology Network's IT Response Center in Wilson Library to get the free upgrade. UNC and several local restaurants are teaming up to make deliveries and students' lives easier. Now you don't have to make a quick dash to the ATM before your food gets to the door, thanks to UNC's One Card. Here's how it works. Having your PID number allows someone at the restaurant to access your account and subtract your purchase from the total on your card. So far, Domino's, Gumby's, and I Love New York Pizza all offer the service. But the catch? You must live on campus, and restaurants can tack an additional 15% onto your bill. Some students like Christine Woods don't think that's a very good deal.
I think as a freshman I'd probably use it when I was using my parents' money, but as I got older, or as people in general get older, I think 15% is a little bit too much to pay just for the convenience.
Tar Heel Takeout Express and other restaurants plan to offer the service soon.
Students at UNC will be playing on better athletic fields this year, thanks to a $1 million renovation grant from 2 anonymous contributions. The intramural fields were redone. They were rebuilt using a synthetic plastic surface that will continue to break down over time and feel more like natural grass. The synthetic surface will now let students enjoy sports on the intramural fields year-round. The new multi-purpose fields are made mostly of plastic but contain millions of tiny rubber balls that keep the surface softer and safer than AstroTurf. It took 90 days to complete the renovation job. Students at UNC have already started taking advantage of the new facilities. School-wide intramural flag football has already begun. Many students like to sleep in on the weekends, but this past Saturday, a few hundred dragged themselves out of bed with sneakers in hand. Carolina Week's Caroline Patterson has our story.
Stretch their limbs and tie their laces to prepare for an early morning run. About 300 university and community members registered at 8 Saturday morning to run the second Michael Hooker Memorial 5K. Many UNC varsity athletes showed up to give their support. Rower Laura Fote says members of women's crew skip practice for the good cause.
Well, we normally have practice today, but instead we did this last year and we just run as a team, we run the 5K.
Participants paid $6 to run, $10 to run in style. And with a shout from Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs Sue Kitchen, runners took off for the 5K route ahead.
Students know they won't win anything by finishing first, yet dozens showed up to give their support and keep trudging towards the finish line by the old well.
The Carolina Athletic Association sponsored the event in memory of the former UNC Chancellor who died of cancer last year. Event organizer Michael Songer says the 5K is an appropriate way to honor Chancellor Hooker.
Chancellor Hooker was always so involved in UNC athletics. So to support, especially for all of UNC's Olympic sports teams, they're often overlooked. And Chancellor Hooker was always there supporting them. So having like an athletic event, I think is a great way to come out and pay tribute to him.
All proceeds from the race go toward the Memorial Scholarship Fund in Hooker's name. In Chapel Hill, I'm Caroline Patterson, Carolina Week.
CAA raised more than $5,000 at last year's race. This year's race didn't attract as many runners, but organizers say they're still excited about the turnout and hope the Hooker 5K will become a tradition. Several Chapel Hill businesses are finally open after sustaining major flood damage.
Find out exactly which doors reopened this past weekend when Carolina Week returns.
Medical research saves lives. It produces treatments and cures for killers like heart disease, AIDS, cancer. Don't let these killers get away with murder. Support medical research.
Now, Sparky has been neutered and received all the vaccinations that are included in that small adoption fee that we discussed up front.
Is spaying and neutering a problem?
Yes, unfortunately it is. In fact, that's why we have so many of these animals.
%70 of the animals are never adopted from a shelter. You can make a difference. Adopt a pet.
Students across campus have two things in common: heavy backpacks and lower back pain. Carolina Week's Nicole Brusick says book bags can be a real drag.
They carry them everywhere, to campus, from campus, to the library, out of the library, on the bus and off the bus. Backpacks, they're as common as student loans these days. Students pack them full of
pens. I love jelly rolls. Actually, I have more pens, bigger pack. Let's see what else. I have like 3 notebooks in here. I don't even know if I can get them out.
So it's my week by week. My heavy math notebook, which is a necessity for me because I need to get out of math.
Just about everything. And as they add items, they add pounds. Pounds that can be damaging to the back. According to the National Chiropractic Association, 2 out of 5 students will complain about lower back pain before they graduate. Dr. Gary P. Kleinbenstein, located here in Chapel Hill, says,
This is a plastic model of our spines, and the way you see most people carrying backpacks is that they have to counterbalance it so they bend forward like this.
Bending over that can be caused by several styles of backpacks.
Over the shoulder book bag, I carry this mainly because I don't want all the stress to be on my back and you have to lean over when you're like walking and stuff like that. So,
with all the bags that students are carrying around campus nowadays, what is the proper way they're supposed to be carrying their bags? Is it with 1 strap, 2 straps, or should they not be carrying bags at all?
In terms of style of backpacks, the best type of backpack would be something like what serious backpackers use, where the weight is actually put on the pelvis rather than pulling the shoulders back.
Maybe in the future, technology will truly be able to lighten our load. In Chapel Hill, Nicole Brusick, Carolina Week.
If you're experiencing back pain, contact your chiropractor or physician. Students and university employees will be lashing out against lighting up over the next couple of months. Men and women across the country will be crushing their cigarettes on November 15th for the Great American Smokeout. The Smokeout is a day-long smoke-free celebration of clean lungs. Participants will keep their cigarettes in their boxes for 24 hours. Coordinators of the event hope that once participants realize they can stop smoking for a day, they'll realize they can crush cigarettes for good. People who sign up will receive smoke-related information and a goodie bag with items to help keep their minds off smoking. Heals for Health is working with UNC hospitals to arrange smoking cessation classes open to university employees. Classes will begin the last week in October, but the deadline to register is Friday.
Eastgate Shopping Center is finally open after being closed for more than 2 months. This past weekend, the center stores officially reopened with the Eastgate Fall Festival sidewalk sale. In July, flash flooding forced stores to close. A magician and caricature artist were on hand to top off the 3-day reopening celebration. Food Lion is one of a few stores that won't reopen because of costly damages. But shoppers were able to check out stores like Domicile, Talbot's, and the Wild Bird Center. Sale price merchandise and a chance to win a $1,000 drawing were among the highlights of the festival. We all know about Carolina's blue skies, but what about its bluegrass? UNC got a taste of bluegrass music when father and daughter duo Jerry and Tammy Sullivan held a free concert on campus. Students and faculty crowded the terrace of the Johnston Center to hear the band's unique mix of bluegrass, country, and gospel. The center hosted the event in hopes of continuing its mission of enhancing the undergraduate experience outside the classroom. UNC's folklore program also sponsored the performance.
People were stomping their feet listening to bluegrass music. Others were stomping their feet in protest Wednesday. Advocates for the empowerment of women of color taped down ads on the pavement in the pit, protesting body images of women. They say the media project an unrealistic image of women by using only stick-thin models, fostering eating disorders among young girls. AEWC says the idea is to let everyone see the ads while walking on them in protest. The group has also made petitions available to sign. At the end of the day, organizers will collect the ads and send them to the companies along with the petitions. AEWC hopes this will make advertisers aware of the problem and will help promote more positive images of women.
Friday ushers in the start of a new season.
And the arrival of fall means the warm weather may not last much longer. Meteorologist Kelly Mahoney has your forecast coming up next.
You. So class, tell me, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, that's right.
Yes, Molly?
I want to be a supermodel when I grow up.
How about you, Josh?
I want to be a cowboy when I grow up.
Well, doesn't anybody want to be a designated driver when they grow up?
A what? Designated. I don't know what that is.
Driver?
You heard of that?
What could you do with a free hour of your day?
Take a jog, wash your car, bake a cake, or watch TV.
Ever thought about giving blood? It only takes an hour. It saved my life. Someday it may save yours.
A single pint of blood can save 3 lives. Be a hero. Give blood.
All right, well, it's been nice weather, huh?
It has been nice lately. We got rid of tropical depression, Tropical Storm Gordon, made way for some nice summery weather, but how long is the summer weather going to stick around? Like you guys said, fall is coming up. Speaking of fall, we do have our weather question, which has to do with fall this weekend. In the beginning of fall, as fall comes in, we're going to ask you, at what point on the globe does a vertical object not yield a shadow all of a sudden? When noon comes on the fall equinox, is it at the Tropic of Cancer, at the equator, here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, or D, anywhere on the globe? Think about that one and we'll come back to you after the forecast and give you the answer. But for now, let's see what the weather is looking like outside. As we mentioned before, very nice summery conditions prevail. How long is this nice, warm, summery weather going to stick around? Well, if we take a look at our current weather map, we can see that there's a cold front coming our way, pushing through about midweek, bringing us some showers, some unsettled weather. But more importantly, perhaps for our weekend forecast, is this little low, this disturbance right down in the Gulf of Mexico. This is what we call Tropical Depression 12 resurfacing and bringing us maybe a replay of what we saw earlier in the week. So what does that mean for your 4-day forecast? Well, let's take a look. Friday, you can see some of that unsettled weather rearing its ugly head, but as we move into the weekend, skies will clear up, be a little bit nicer, drier. Sunday and Monday, we see a slight chance of a scattered shower or thunderstorm once again, but overall, it looks pretty good. If we can keep that tropical weather out of the way, we will be in good conditions. Thinking about heading to the beach at some point? Well, your beach forecast, it doesn't look great, but it's not going to be a complete washout. We do see a chance of showers on Saturday. Sunday looks a little bit better, highs in the low 80s, lows in the mid 60s, so the beach would be a good bet. How about the mountains? Saturday, once again, not looking that wonderful, chance of showers and thunder showers as that cold front starts to push on through. But Sunday, cooler, drier, be a great day for a hike up in the mountains. Are you going to the game on Saturday? Well, game time temperature as we kick off at 6 o'clock in the evening shows clear skies, nice weather, game time temperature of a comfortable 75 degrees. Now, we've given you a while to think about the answer to the weather question. What do you guys think?
I have no idea.
I'm going to guess the equator.
The equator would make sense, and indeed it is the equator.
Is it the equator?
Yes,
All right.
actually, at noon on the equator during the fall equinox, any object like a flagpole or something like that completely loses its shadow.
Just none at all?
Yep, just not at all, because it's the exact lineup of the sun and the earth. Interesting.
All right. UNC's football team hoped to have an undefeated season.
But Florida State is determined to wipe out anything in its path, including Carolina. Sports is up next.
Services come to mind when you think of the American Red Cross.
The Red Cross does blood drives, don't they?
They help out with natural disasters.
Giving blood.
Tornadoes and hurricanes.
Blood. Natural disasters.
I'll bet you didn't know that the American Red Cross also provides emergency services for military families and delivers health and safety instruction in first aid, lifeguard training, and CPR. Contact your local Red Cross chapter to learn more about the services they provide.
Hey, there are a lot of ways we can help our community. Spending our money in Orange County, whether it's filling up the car or shopping at local businesses, helps maintain our roads, improves our children's schools, and creates jobs. Spending your money locally helps us all in a big way. So remember, shop Orange first.
Hated to see the Tar Heels in such bad shape this weekend.
Yeah, I hope they can bounce back.
Yeah, that's definitely the type of game you want to forget as soon as possible.
Yeah.
The football team is hoping to rebound this week against Marshall after a disappointing showing last Saturday against Florida State. Both teams entered the game with 2-0 records. First quarter here, Florida State already up 14-0. Ronald Curry hands it off to Anthony Saunders for 11 yards and a touchdown. Seminole offense and defense were relentless as Curry loses his helmet in one of 5 Florida State sacks. As you can see, he's having problems here. He loses his head and the ball. Carolina's offense wasn't successful either as Ronnie Robinson rushes, fumbles. Florida State recovers this football and scores it for another touchdown to make Florida State showed no mercy as they went on to win this one 63-14. Carolina hosts Marshall this weekend at 6 p.m. One of the leading players in Carolina's resurgence from 1999 is one of its most explosive wide receivers. It's been said that you don't often get a second chance to do something in life, but in Bosley Allen's case, he got a second chance to play college football. During a 1998 game against NC State in Charlotte, Allen tore all 3 major ligaments in his knee and dislocated his knee bone. Doctors said not only might his football career be over, but he might never walk right again. Still, Allen stayed strong through the rough times.
Well, the first thought was for me to get back well. I knew it was a terrible injury. I dislocated my knee. Never felt that feeling before, and just to get back in the process and get back in the swing of things was what I was thinking at the time.
His desire to step on the field with his teammates again pushed him through all of the rehab.
It was a lot of motivation when you're back with like 100+ people on the team, and they're just cheering you on, happy to see you back, and it's just great to see them out there.
The head doctor of the football team, Dr. Tim Taft, describes the nature and severity of Allen's injury.
He tore both the anterior and the posterior cruciate ligaments, but this was certainly one of the worst knee injuries that I've taken care of in the roughly 30 years I've been doing this.
Allen missed all of the 1999 season as a medical redshirt while he worked on getting back into football shape, and so far this season, his success, his work ethic, and his love for the game have excited the Carolina coaching staff.
But he's got a great tenacity for the game. He loves to play. He's always working to get better.
The mere fact that Bosley's even playing football at all is impressive, but considering his success in this young season, there could be big things ahead for a talented and healthy Bosley Allen. And the rest of the wide receivers will look to air it out against the Thundering Herd. For the second consecutive week, a Carolina soccer team is playing in the Nike Carolina Classic. This time it's the men's turn. Forward Chris Carriere and the Tar Heels are happy, well, sort of, with 2 victories but lackluster performances at the Nike Carolina Classic. The Heels went 2-0 on the weekend. UNC knocked off Denver University 1-0 Friday night. The lone goal comes on this Carriere header, assisted by Logan Paz and Nas Yamuchi. Carolina finishes second in the tournament behind UNC Greensboro, also 2-0. UNCG won the tournament by virtue of scoring more total goals than the Heels. Carolina defense played well in both games. Goalkeeper Michael Yosicki makes one of his numerous saves here. It was a near miss after near miss for UNC. Despite dominating both games, the Heels scored just 3 goals on 33 shots. It's not a very good ratio. They leave the weekend content with the wins, but frustrated with their play. Volleyball is back on track after losing a tough match to Santa Clara Saturday night. The team is now 9-2 after a win against East Carolina Tuesday night. The team leader for kills in the season, that's volleyball's not people, Nicole Rice records one of her 7 for the match here in the second game. Sophomore Laura Green had an outstanding match for the Heels, recording 17 kills to help sew up the 15-6, 15-7, and 15-4 victory against the Pirates. Coach Joe Segula and the Tar Heels open up their ACC season Friday night in Chapel Hill against Georgia Tech. UNC's number 2 ranked field hockey team hosted 2 of the top 10 in the country this weekend. Carolina Week's Iona Banks explains how the Tar Heels fared in their matches.
Carolina and Old Dominion proved Saturday why they are number 2 and 3 in the nation, respectively. Both teams stepping up their defense, creating a very slow offensive day. The game was still scoreless when Old Dominion scored with just 25 seconds remaining, handing the Tar Heels their first loss of the season. Carolina's offense came out with a vengeance the next day, scoring 2 goals in the first 6 minutes against the number 7 Virginia Cavaliers. The Tar Heels went on to beat UVA 3-1. Coach Karen Shelton explains the turnaround in the second game.
They wanted a little bit of redemption for giving up a late goal yesterday.
The Tar Heels defense isn't to blame, as they've only given up 6 goals in 7 games.
We're very strong defensively, and so if we can limit the number of goals that we score, that are scored on us, we'll be fine.
And they've been fine so far with a 6-1 start. In Chapel Hill, I'm Iona Banks, Carolina Week.
Let's head to Virginia this weekend to face the University of Richmond and James Madison.
So what's going on in the Olympics?
Well, the U.S. is leading with 10 golds and also is leading the overall medal count with 22 total medals.
That's impressive. It's always so exciting to watch the Olympics this time of year. That's great.
Well, sports wouldn't be the same without a particular group of fans.
When Carolina Week continues, with all the hopefuls, it's going to be a big stretch to make the UNC cheerleader squad.
Taught me.
She's averaging 18%. Balance the budget. Increasing clouds for.
UNC TV. Your remote stops here.
1 out of 20 people in the United States has been infected with hepatitis B. 2 billion people in the world have had hepatitis B in their lifetime. 80% of newborns that are infected with hepatitis B are likely to have it for life. More people are infected with hepatitis B than HIV. Many people have it and don't know it. There is no cure yet, but it is preventable, and there is support and treatment. For more information, visit our webpage or email us at info@hepb.org.
You can't always see problems in the triangle, but you know they're there. Be part of the solution. Join Leadership Triangle. For information, call 919-549-9840.
Thousands upon thousands of Tar Heel fans cheer for our school teams.
Far fewer do the actual cheerleading. And as Carolina Week's Dana Rosengard shows us, there's no shortage of folks who want to do the revving up of the crowds.
Ready? Okay. It's time to take your best shot to become a UNC cheerleader.
The arms, you go rock the house, and you bring it together. Carolina, Carolina.
There are spots to be won on the varsity cheering gang, the traveling competition crew, the JV team, and the Palm Squad.
There's a bunch of different areas that we have to do. They're tumbling, you have to be proficient in stunts, and you have to have good crowd appeal, motions, and ability to do the cheers.
Cheering's enough of a sport itself. Wayne Cottrell went from playing on the high school field to cheering on the college sideline.
We got weights just like every other squad here, baseball, basketball, they have weights. They have practice 3-4 days a week. We have the same thing.
Women outnumber men at these tryouts by a wide margin. Girl after girl after girl. So many, they start to look the same. What's your favorite sport?
Cheerleading.
Now, if you're not much into yelling and screaming, you can always let your moves do the talking for you and try out for the UNC dance team.
You can't beat the rush that you get on the field and on the court. It's awesome.
I came to Carolina to be on the dance team, so hopefully I'll make it.
Head coach Don Collins told the hopefuls, if chosen, Carolina
cheerleading
becomes your life. In Chapel Hill, I'm Dana Rosengard, Carolina Week.
Now, tryouts continue until all positions are filled or until each hopeful is evaluated. New cheerleaders and dancers could hit the field for the Clemson game on October 21st. Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you and good night. Contact us, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292 or carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions or concerns about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365 UNC-CH, Chapel Hill 275.